Israel, Kaba Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan, Kaja Kushima, when he me kona me wajashon. So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, wajashon. Wajashon. So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, wajashon. Manchester key, Sumanguru, wajashon. What's that to do, Ramasa, Yasantwa, wajashon. Kaja Israel, Kaba Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan, wajashon. Akwaka, Bajimo, one year, for Karacha, Akachuma, 1 year, and in young fang. Akwaka, Bajimo, 1 year, for Karacha, Akachuma, 1 year, and in young fang. I'm a Caminian Matu, I'm a Caonian Motu, I'm a Caonian Watumo. I'm a Caminian Matu, I'm a Caonian Motu, I'm a Caonian Watumo. I'm a Caonian Watumo, we not a Kachimo, Waka, Wabanya, Kaja Sanya Mababa, Kaja Sanya Mababa, Kaja Sama, Gadanjino, Kaja Sanya Mababa, you Mabami, Ebaba, what you do, what you need, what you do, what you need, when I do not remember you.
Hello? Oh, my son is Canada dada. And then he left home menu. My son, this is a setup. You was Spain, oh yes. I Spain was any secret free ha. A Ghana. Yet we love you. It's 11 and as a member of a baby family. Oh, that be my son. Would you check your phone? Why? It's very easy now to send money from anywhere in Europe to Ghana. I'm in Spain right now, and I just send money to my mom. And on Tiasia, also don't send it, don't take e-levy. No, on tap send, there's no e-levy charge. It's just free when you send. Those in the US, those in London, those in Canada, plenty places in Europe. You can send your money through tap send to Ghana, and please, it's free of charge. There's no deduction in any e-levy or any charge at all. So what are you waiting for? Send the money to those family people. Me must send it. Let's go and take a clan talk. Reggae man of a pack. It's tap send.
Araba, there are some people at the door. Go and tell them I have traveled to Russia.
Yes, Daddy.
Where's your father?
My father said I should tell you he has traveled to Russia.
Your father has killed me. I sent him money from America to complete my house for me.
Are all student association contributions?
Even the money from the fundraiser for Kweku's surgery.
Oh! He too? Don't be a victim. If you're contributing to a project, alumni dues, or any public campaign, Chango is your best choice. Chango keeps track of all donations and gives you the power to know exactly where the money goes. Chango is approved by Bank of Ghana. Call 0270-066-614 or visit changoapp.com for more information.
Uncle, my father is hiding under the bed.
Oh, Araba.
Chango for your groupings and crowdfunding.
At Diaspora Insurance, we understand the importance of dignified send-offs within Ghanaian culture and traditions. We also understand that you want to avoid the double trauma of your family grieving and not having the financial support to cover funeral expenses when you're not around. With our Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, you can now cover yourself or your family in Ghana or abroad. With no medicals required, we'll accept you if you are under 75 years. Visit our website today or call us to complete a simple form in under 5 minutes. With Diaspora Insurance, your peace of mind is guaranteed.
Good evening. Welcome to the Ghanaian Community Awareness Forum this evening. Today, the 4th of November, 2022. Tonight, we are here, as always, every 2 weeks. We come, we educate, we inform, and make ourselves aware of the issues around us. Today happens to be one of the key issues that we are going to talk about regarding how we can consolidate the gains that we have made so far with the free SHS as part of our way of building our community, Ghana, and our people, and how the future lies ahead, and what we can do as diasporans to help with the breeding process in terms of how we can promote support. As always, this forum is a non-political, and therefore we do not encourage political talk. Be measured in your questions, and please go straight to the point, ensuring that your questions relate to the topic of discussion today. And our panelists will be here to address you and give you all the insight that you need. This forum is put together with the help of Ghana Union as the umbrella body of many groups, the Ghana Nurses Association, UK, the Western Region Association of Nurses, UK, the Ghana Nightingale Nurses Association, UK. It is endorsed and supported by the Ghana High Commission and supported by Omega Live TV. We are privileged to have the support and partnership of Tap Tap Send. Tap Tap Send all your money to Ghana, and everything that you can do with them, please use them. It's free. And it's seconds, not even minutes, just seconds. At the tap of your phone, you will get instant, response back that your money has been delivered. We also want to thank Diaspora Insurance. Diaspora Insurance, all the things that we do when it comes to funerals, they can take care of it. Don't wait for the moment where you need it most. Please look into their services. Let them help you so we can help ourselves here and our family back home. IT Consortium, all your technology, IT, financial security needs, they can help you. Log on the website, itconsortium.gh, and you'll find all the information there. We are here this evening, as we do every 2 weeks, to educate ourselves. The topic we have today is consolidating the gains of the free senior high school, Ghana's road to socio-economic transformation. And we are privileged tonight to have key people who are versed in the field of what they are coming to talk to us about and show us what best can we also do to support, because as we all know, if it must be done, it must be done well. And if it can be done well, you and I need to put our hand in it. There's no good sitting on the fence. You can only make a difference by being inside. And therefore, we the diasporans have a duty towards our motherland, that those of us who are privileged to be in the positions that we are today can also look back and see what we can do to help shape the future of the generations yet to come. We have today Mr. William Dakwa, who is the National Coordinator for the Free Senior High School from the Ministry of Education, Ghana, who is with us. Mr. Dakwa, good evening, and thank you for joining us. We also have Mr. Kwesi Abankwa, who is also the Head of Corporate and International Affairs at the Ministry of Education, Ghana. Mr. Abankwa, thank you for being here. Tonight, your panelists are here across UK, around the world, listening to you live. And we have presentations from both of you. And after that, we'll go to Q&A. So welcome, and please, any of you can take over, and we can go straight to what we are here for tonight. There's no special order, so the two of you, whoever wants to take the scene first, can unmute yourself, please, and then give us a start. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, this is William Dakwa. I hope everybody is hearing me.
We can hear you loud and clear. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I am the National Coordinator for Free Senior High School. Today, I'm going to talk a bit about the Free Senior High School and consolidating the gains of the free SHS. If I move on to the first slide, key objectives. This program was set up with 4 key objectives. The first one was improve access by removing cost barriers. When we first, I think the free SHS program is a vision from Nanado. And when we first started looking at the statistics in terms of the access into our senior high schools, we did a bit of research and then consultations across board. And we realized that there were already existing program which vis-a-vis the northern sector of our country. There were free feeding to SHSs. And so we took a look at the impact of that free feeding in terms of access. And we realized that all the people in the north, in terms of their enrollment into free SHS, into SHS, was like, let's say, those who were actually placed into the schools and they were supposed to go. We realized that in the northern sector, there was only 11% who were not attending, who were not taking up the positions and the slots that they needed to take to go to school. And then we looked at the same data in the southern part of Ghana, and you all know that the majority of Ghanaians are in the southern part of Ghana, who didn't have the free feeding. And they were like, let's say 33% that could not even take their spots in the secondary education. Now, if you combine these two, we're looking at leaving behind about 100,000 students each year that they were actually accepted and given placement into our senior high schools that they couldn't go. And if you look at the disparity between the north and the south, we realize that the access to free feeding was actually making an impact, because if you look in the north, it was 11%. If you look in the south, it was 30%, and we wanted to reduce. So we realized quickly that free SHS, one of the key things is we're going to be able to improve access if we are able to remove the cost barriers that are preventing people from actually taking their spots. The second objective was technical and vocational skills, improving technical and vocational skills by transforming the TVET education in Ghana. And I will talk more about it as we get to that slide. The fourth point was equity. Equity. And equity was in 2 parts, in terms of gender equity, which I will show you the impact of SHS in terms of gender equity, and also equity in terms of the ability, the public sector. Students who are able to get to the public sector, are they able to go to some of the best schools that we have in the country? We didn't want it to be that the rich people only goes to the Achimotes, the Pressex, and the Wesley girls. We wanted to make sure that it's spread across the country, and that if you don't have money and you are not able to go to a private school and you go to a public school where there is a bit of minimal impact, you'll be able to go to some of the key secondary schools that we have within the country. So that was the equity part that we wanted to improve with the program. Also, the quality aspect of it. We wanted to make sure that as we are providing free SHS, we don't leave quality behind. So as part of the program, we are providing teaching and learning materials to all the students that are part of it. So with these 4 objectives, I want to show you the results. How free SHS is at 5 now, 5 years into the program implementation. How are we doing based on these objectives that we put in front of us? So let's look at the first one, which is improving access. you look at the graph, right, we started free SHS in 2017. So 2016 was not free SHS. You can see the enrollment in that year of all the candidates going to free senior high school. 308,799. In that year, we left behind about 100,000 candidates who were not able to take up their slots. Okay, so 2017 is the first time that we started a free SHS. We had 362,775 candidates actually taking up the slots and going to secondary schools. So right off the bat, you can see the increase there, which is over 60,000 candidates that we have that actually took out the slots. Now, the first year we launched, Ghanaians were a bit skeptical. You know, say, government is providing free SHS. First of all, is it going to be quality? And second of all, are they even going to be able to pay? You know, so that, you know, and they're going to mess up all the secondary schools and that's what. So people were very hesitant in 2017. When they realized that in 2017, government was actually serious and were able to get the implementation going and people could see it. Then you see 2018, a lot of people now poured into the secondary schools, those who wanted to really attend school and they couldn't. You know, those we call the re-entry. These are students that had already graduated from the BECE and they couldn't pick up their slots because they didn't have money to go. But when they realized in 2017 that the program was taken off, the program was well run and the program was doing well, 2018, everybody poured in. That's how you see the numbers in 2018 being that huge, even compared to 2019, because all the re-entries, all those students that were sitting in the back burner saying that, you know, the program will not, is not going to take off, where they all decided to come in 2018. So you see the number we have in 20. If you look at comparing that to 2016, it's over 100,000, about 130,000 students actually even came in and joined the program. 2019, it dropped a little bit because, as I said, 2018, all the re-entries came in, and by 2019, the re-entries were very minimal. So we were able to get 4,000 students in 2019. Then we started picking up again in 2020, and in 2021, 2022, you see the enrollment numbers all of a sudden go up tremendously to 463,453. So in terms of improving access into our secondary schools, this data is very, very clear, right? There's been almost over 60% improvement, right? So in terms of improving access, we can show you the numbers that the program has done well, and the program is actually reduced the number of candidates that we place into our secondary schools and they take up the slots, because we have been able to remove the cost barriers. And now, since the country, we don't know which part of any kid from this country is going to come from that will be able to help the country jump and improve our transformation agenda. We have to make sure that all kids, and one of the president's mantra is no child left behind. And he means it when he says no child left behind, because even the little, which is the less than 10% that we even leave behind because of bursaries that they can't, we are looking at for ways where we can get them to enter school. So if you look at the numbers in terms of the enrollment trends between 2016 and 2022, you can see that there's been vast improvement. So our first objective, improving access by removing cost barrier, you can see the improvement and you can see the change. So we move on to the next slide. If you move on to the next slide, you will see the enrollment in TVET service. When we started the program, there were 47 TVET institutions that were under the GES that we were able to automatically absorb into the program. But we quickly realized that there were some technical and vocational schools under different ministries and agencies that we needed to consolidate. So we had to go through the a process of legislative agenda and also creating a whole new service called the Ghana TVET service to absorb all these secondary level technical and vocational institutions into one body, so we can support it through free SHS. Right now, if you look at the numbers that are being shown, you can see that under the GES, it was under the free SHS program even from the beginning, right? And you can see the numbers coming in, improving from 21,000 to 23, 29, and 35. Then, if you look at the other shows all the technical and vocational institutions in the other under the other institute that were not part of free SHS. But in 2022, all those students were merged as part of the free SHS program, right? So if you look at the improvement in 2022, we can see that all the 46,000 are part of the free SHS program, while before 2022, there were only the GES numbers that were part of the free SHS program. So under the program, going from the 29,779 to 46,000, you see the improvement in terms of the technical and vocational students that are actually under the program. So we are, as we transform and build new TVET institutions under the free SHS program, we are making gains and doing a lot of consolidations, bringing all the other institutions into one body, and move. Now that we paved the way, I believe next year we've even built some new TVET institutions that will push forward and get a lot more enrollment in the TVET transformation agenda, under the TVET transformation agenda. So let's go on to the next slide. If you look at the next slide also, it shows you in terms of equity, right? The gender parity that we have. Now, before free SHS, the enrollment levels, even though they were low, they had about 96% gender parity. But when we introduced free SHS, it seems like all the male that were actually sitting at home were the one that took advantage of the opportunity the first time it came out, and they all joined the free SHS. So you see that the gender parity index actually dropped to 92%, because we see that all the new entrants, all the ones that came in were of the male gender. And then we improved it in 2018, all the re-entries and stuff, the females started joining. And if you look at 2020, 2021, you see that we are almost at gender parity, right? And as we go along, I believe our ladies will be taking over in terms of a lot more of them getting educated in the secondary schools than even the males, because the way they are catching up fast, and they will come and catch us and even pass us. So we are doing very well in terms of gender parity in the free SHS program. Now, I don't have a slide that talks about the equity for the public schools that we did affirmative action on. We have an affirmative action form of policy where anytime that we have about 70 very, very good schools in Ghana. We call them the category A schools. And among those schools are Legon Presec, Prempeh College, Opokuware. These are examples, and they are not in any special order. So please, if I don't mention your school, don't take me up on it. These are examples that I'm giving. So Wesley Girls, Holy Child, St. Louis, Achimota, those are the top schools in Ghana, right? And these top schools, we realized when we did the initial research that there were almost about 99.9% of their students are coming from the private sector. And the private schools, the rich in Ghana, most of them at the JHS and primary level take their kids to private schools. And they have a lot more opportunities and a lot more teaching and learning materials and a lot more like chances to be able to pass the BEC very, very well. And so as soon as we realized that we allocated 30% of all the slots into Wesley Girls, into Prempeh College, into Opokuwari, into Achimota, into Presec, 70 of them, we allocated 30% for those students that are coming in from the public schools. And we are getting the data, but the data that is coming out is telling us that these students that are coming in from the public schools, some of them are topping their schools and are being the best in those schools. So if this program had not been planned or had not been implemented, you see that these brilliant kids, just because they didn't have funds and they attended public schools, will not have the opportunity to go to our top government-funded secondary schools within the country. So that is one of the equity implementations I've done that has been very, very successful. And I'll tell you one story. Before Free SHS implemented that quality equity policy, Wesley Girls High School, when they were doing their annual, speech and prize giving day, their parking lots were full. One parent even told us that before Free SHS, when I used to go visit my child at Wesley Girls on the speech and prize giving day, I couldn't get parking because a lot of those kids were kids from affluent families. They were able to do well. So mom and dad would probably be driving 2 cars and they will get in there and then their parking lot will be full. You couldn't get parking. But as soon as Free SHS started implementing 30% for public schools, a lot of the underprivileged kids were able to get in. And now speech and prize giving day, if you go, a lot of the parents are saying that, now they have the affluent parents now will have a parking slot. It sounds like a very funny story, but it really hits home that equity policy was very critical because they are very, very brilliant students who don't have, and even their parents coming to visit them, crying, they can't even bring their own vehicles. They have to take public transportation to come and visit them. But these kids are very brilliant, and they need an opportunity to be able to also go into our government-funded top secondary schools within the country. Yeah. So let's move on to the next slide, which is quality. Right before the program started, and during the implementation, when we launched the implementation, there was a lot of memory, a lot of people talking about, hey, pre-SHS is free. Now we are bringing in kids from a lot of kids public schools, so it's going to dampen the quality. It's going to lower the quality of education that these students are going to get. There was even a union leader one time that just when 2016, I believe 2017, when the WASI results came out. At that time, the free SHS were just coming in. The WASI results came out and they didn't do very well. And this union leader was saying, you think now the students are coming out not doing well. You wait until the free SHS students starts coming out and you see how bad the results will be. Right? So we've been very, very keeping keen and making sure that just the fact that we've implemented free SHS doesn't mean that we are lowering quality. We are focused on making sure that quality actually improves, not even maintained. It improves. Okay. So if you look at the quality in terms of the WASI scores for the 3 core subjects, if you look at English, integrated science, mathematics, and social studies, you will see that on the average, the free SHS graduates, which are the last 2 of the graphs where the circles are, on the average, those 2-year groups are on the average higher than the previous years. Okay, if you look at their score on the aggregate, they are higher than the previous years. Now, within the 2 years, you see there were some ups and downs within the free SHS years itself. And that could be attributed to some changes in the examination, because now free SHS and the Ministry of Education has also improved and lowered people's chances of actually this exam malpractices. So they say. So we are now making sure that we serialize the exams and make sure people don't. So the years that we implemented those serialization could have the total results and the achievements may come down. But we need to implement those measures to make sure at least taking the exams, we can rely on the results of the exams going forward to know how truly the free research students are performing. But on the average, if you compare the 2 years of the free research students coming out and doing WASI with the rest of the years before that, you see that there's been improvement in terms of quality. And that's what this graph is really trying to show, not the year-over-year type of ups and downs, but it's trying to show that at the free SHS level, graduates, which is the 2 years, compare them to the rest of the years, you see that they are higher in terms of performance. So the program is not lowering quality. And as a matter of fact, it's actually improving quality across board. It's going to continue to improve because there's a lot of other quality measures that the Ghana Education Service has put in place. There are a lot of quality measures that the Ghana TV Service have put in place that is really going to help drive the quality to a much higher level. And as we drive the quality, we are also making sure there's integrity in the exams that they take from the WAEC perspective. Okay. I've shown you how we've done in terms of our initial objectives when we set out to do, right? There have been, over the 5 years, there's no program in the world that you start or implement that there will not be challenges. There's always challenges. But when the challenges come, we are able to take it, resolve it, and move forward. Currently, you may be aware that, maybe hearing the news that there are some feeding challenges in our schools. Yes, there are feeding challenges. Remember, we have over 900 schools, secondary schools in the country. So if we have about 5 schools come out and they are saying, hey, today we don't have food, that doesn't necessarily mean that across the country there is no food for secondary school students. To me, what that means is, yes, there's no food in your school. Maybe you didn't report it. As soon as you report it to us, we make sure that you get food in your school. There could be some delays in the supply chain that could cause that. But as soon as we are aware that it's a school that doesn't have food, we are able to send it to them. Those are one of the challenges. And there are some furniture challenges that, that are coming up that, since the program started, every year we send, a whole bunch of furniture. We spend a lot of money on furniture in the schools. So if there are some challenges in some particular schools where they need furniture and they're not getting, they just need to notify us and we will make sure that they are taken care of. Again, challenges will come, just like any program. I haven't seen any program in the world that's implemented, even in the first world, the third, the second world, the third world, all programs have challenges. But as soon as the challenges come out, we do everything we can to make sure that we resolve them as quickly as possible. And you can see the results that the program has been able to deliver. So in conclusion to my presentation, the state of free senior high school program in Ghana is solid, is strong, and we are determined to make sure that Ghana does not leave any child behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dakwa. If before you go, when you were showing your gender parity, I didn't see if you can take us back to that slide so that before we go to Mr. Abankwa. I don't know whether it's my screen, but I didn't see any gender relationship to the blue and the green. Which one is from boys and girls? Which one represents what?
No, this is the gender parity index, right? So the gender parity index measures, let's say boys versus girls, right? So what it does, if you're doing boys only, it will be the total number of boys in the school divided by the total number of boys that are supposed to be in the school in the country. That is for boys. And then girls will be the same type of calculation. But when you are doing the index, you divide the two, boys over girls. So the percentage will tell you,
okay,
yeah, how many corresponding boys are supposed to be in school versus corresponding girls. Because there could be a year that the childbirth will have more females than male. So if you look at the raw numbers and you say, the males are not going to school as a female, you'll be doing the wrong calculation. So we do yes, all the boys that were born that year, girls that are in school over all the girls that are supposed to be in school that were born within that period. And then when you do a division, you get their individual genders, and then you divide the boys over the girls, and you get a gender parity index. So the index that I'm showing.
I see.
Yes.
I see. I mean, I'll just a comment that it would have helped us a lot to know that before free HHS, we had girls, 20% of girls in Ghana were not getting advantage. And therefore, let's say with free SHS, now we are 90% or 60%. That would have, I'm just giving this as a layman's perspective. Because what you've done is the accurate one, but it's very technical for someone to measure how many girls have benefited from going to school rather than staying home. If you know what I mean.
Sure, yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just a feedback from us.
Okay, right, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We will be back with Q&A, but so before I forget, let me draw you back to that one first. Mr. Abankwa, it's your turn, sir. If you have any more to add to what Mr. Dakwa has said, so that at least we can open the lines to our good audience to at least engage with you this evening. Thank you, sir. You can unmute yourself, please.
All right. Thank you so much, His Royal Highness, Chief Quayson. It's really good to be here again. Mr. Dakwa has said a lot, and I would like to reiterate, combining what the Honorable Minister said or shared with us during his time on the forum and what Mr. Dakwa has said. You see, a country like Ghana has been identified to be able to attain its socio-economic developed status through education. And this government has set the premises on the path that leads to no non-partisan. Reason being, education as a sector enters almost every household. Every one of us over here, one way or the other, is being affected, or education plays a role in our homes. If not for your child, it may be your brother's child, or maybe your assistant's ward. So the government, despite its political activities, has actually tried positioning education to be a non-political, let me say, agenda. That's the use of the right word. This evening, I want to talk about the corporate and international affairs role in the Ministry of Education. And I would like to inform all of us here that this whole idea of getting the education managers on this forum was part of the effort to solidify the reason for the creation of the corporate affairs role. The minister, Honorable Yao, Dr. Yao Se Educhum, when he got promoted from deputy to a substantive minister for education, realized that this government really means a lot when it comes to education and has committed a lot of resources towards the sector. but that is not enough. Aside the government's huge responsibility to support education, he sees that corporate Ghana also has a role to play. Individuals like you and I also has a role to play. So he decided to create a unit that would serve as a liaison between corporate Ghana, private individuals, Ghanaians in the diaspora, benevolent citizens who would also want to help and or support the education sector to find their feet in his management. And that gave birth to the Office of the Corporate Affairs. We've been doing so much over here. The first thing we decided to do was we realized that in the corporate environment, it's mandatory to commit 15% of our annual profits to investing in corporate social responsibility. And the sectors that this investment goes were determined by the companies. But we realized that they did it in areas of health, education, and sometimes environment. So we decided to design a plan where we can reach out to these organizations and lobby them to take a second look at the education sector. And again, we try making them know the honorable minister's priority areas. Then these companies would align. And again, we also appeal to individuals like you and I, benevolent citizens who also have the desire to support their communities, to support their regions, to support individuals in areas of education. Now, this government also has an open arm to receiving this support. So I would highlight on some of the areas that we have actually tailored, where we are hoping to get in companies and individuals to support us. But without, before I go there, I would like to commend bulk oil storage and transportation company. We've reached out to so many companies, but this company accepted and agreed to support one of the initiatives under the ministry. That's the equitable access. And in fact, that's the flagship initiative we are actually doing now. It's in the form of scholarship. See, if you hear the president and the minister speak on several platforms, they are talking about producing critical thinkers, the critical mass with a critical mind to drive the socio-economic development agenda. If you look at where the world is going, we are near attaining the fourth industrial revolution, and we do not want Ghana to miss out. So initially, I wanted to go towards that direction, how the position of Ghana's education sector before and where we've got into. And in summary, we realized that initially Ghana's education didn't have a focus. So we had so many courses in the tertiary level, producing graduates, sociology, archaeologists, and we didn't know what the country was going to actually use this graduate for. So the managers of education now, under the leadership of His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, I'm not being political, are trying to give Ghana's education a direction so that we can, like Singapore, like Malaysia, like Korea, Ghana can also be the next industrial hub in the sub-region. So we are promoting the studies of engineering and computer sciences. So it links to STEM, education, as the Honorable Minister has been promoting. So we have designed a scholarship program over here that seeks to support needy students to be able to pursue their dream courses in engineering. And then somebody will ask why. So we realized that courses like engineering required a single aggregate, sometimes 8, 7 before you could pursue. But we know that by the SDG 4 component, where we are required to provide equitable access to quality education, and with the president indicating that we are supposed not to leave any soul behind. We have some Ghanaian children who are brilliant, but because they could not get the needed resource, were unable to get that, or attain the requirement pursuing engineering, and I would come down. We have a child, let's say in a village somewhere, who couldn't get the opportunity to come to this category A schools that the national coordinator mentioned. And when you enter these schools, you have 90% chance of passing. That's why they categorize those schools as category A. So this child completed that category B or C school and had 14 or 13. So that person can do engineering. But the universities are under the Ministry of Education. Realize that if these people had gotten the opportunity to be in the category A schools, they would have maybe gotten the opportunity to get a single aggregate and be able to pursue their dream courses in engineering. So we designed this program on the premises of getting the finance from corporate supports or benevolent individuals who would also direct us where they would want us to do the selection and recruitment from. And we will go there, we have a checklist, how we are able to identify who qualifies for this opportunity. We get these children into school. The minister designed this initiative as a livelihood transformation initiative. Why do we say that? Let's say it takes 4 years to complete the university. So we come to that village, we look at that child who is deprived, but had that grade 14, 13, 16, determinant on the school and the environment. So we offer this child the opportunity. This initiative seeks to pay the child's school fees throughout the year, the 4 years, provide accommodation throughout the 4 years. We have also connected with these organizations to provide industrial attachment opportunities for them when they are on vacation. We've also identified some key giants within the engineering and IT space who would serve as coaches and mentors for these kids. We seek to provide them with reading materials. And of course, we know peer pressure exists in these schools. So we kind of try, as part of the initiative, providing them with clothing allowance, sustenance allowance, form of stipends. So in the next 4 years, with all these things put in place, if this child are able to go through successfully and come out, national services under the Ministry of Education, and through that collaboration with the national service, we identify a tech or engineering organizations around where the child is from, and we put that child there. We believe that their company, with the training they've given their children, would have no choice than admitting them. Within a space of 4 years, this child has gained a job in a tech or engineering organization. When they begin to receive their salary and start giving their parents stipends, we believe that their households has been transformed. So that's why he describes that livelihood transformation within a space of 4 years. And if those of us who were online when the Honorable Minister was speaking, he hinted on the pre-tertiary program that he had designed. We realized that those of you who are in the diaspora, you know that sometimes you do not need to do science in order to become an engineer. But it wasn't so in Ghana here. But this minister, Dr. Yawse Duchum, has made it possible. Currently, we are piloting it with University of Mines and Technology in Takwa and Pentecost University. And I'm happy to inform you that currently we have an enrollment of about 300 students on the pre-tertiary program. So these children who did not read science, visual art students, home economics, general art students who have good standing in mathematics and have the desire to pursue engineering, these children can enroll on the pre-engineering program, a well-designed program by these universities, give them the tutorial on the areas of engineering they require. And if they are able to pass, then the university enroll them on the actual engineering program. Currently, I have the report before me. At least 300 children, 97% of them were able to make the 85% pass rate. Incredible in Ghana here. And I'm yet to share it to Honorable Minister and see if we can publicize it for Ghanaians to see how the program is going. When I go to these universities, and I'll beg to share my screen. Excuse me. Okay. So as part of the program, these children are taken to workshops to get a okay, so I'll share my screen. Okay. All right. So this is how it is. The program has been designed that the children are taken to workshops, technical organizations, have a hands-on practical of how the real-life engineering works are, and aside the theory they are having in schools. And these are children who hitherto didn't have become engineers, but thanks to this initiative, we've gotten the opportunity to become engineers, hopefully. So just to share with you. Again, the ministry, the government, as part of its effort not to leave any child behind, has also started a project that is soon going to see taking street children from the streets back to school under the Ghana Education Outcome Project called GEOP. They're going to launch it very soon. So this office is also soliciting support from corporate organizations to come and help make this initiative a reality. Again, realize that some children or some youth, due to a teenage pregnancy and other issues, are unable to make it to the senior high school, which is free. Now, this ministry has given the opportunity under the Free Senior High School program and the Complementary Education Agency to see how we can get these people to sit for the exam. So the Complementary Education Agency, which used to be the non-formal organization, prepares these children for, and they sit for the exam. When they pass through this Free Senior High School Secretariat, they are given re-entry and are able to access the Free Senior High School opportunity this government provides. Again, we've been hearing a lot about this government on TVET. Recently, we launched the Ghana Skills Development Fund, a grant that has been offered the country to support individuals who have credible ideologies that they are seeking to develop under the TVET space. We have support from Comfort, the erstwhile Swami NVTI, now Swami Technical Institute under the TVET services. Now has offered the opportunity for our brothers and sisters in the Magazi who would want to enhance their skills to enroll in this school on a part-time basis to enhance their skills in whichever area they are, operating, as part of our effort to enhance the TVET space. Again, the minister is establishing a desk that is going to connect under my unit that is going to connect these organizations. We need to offer these children a hands-on opportunity whilst they come on vacations. I mean, some of these are already in school. The opportunity is not supposed to be limited to only those who will be on the scholarship. So we are now going to connect with Corporate Ghana, see how we can offer our children the opportunity to enroll on industrial attachments when they come on vacation, as part of our effort in building their capacity whilst in school. And then on the Free Senior High School again, when you come to the Secretariat, we have what we call the low 40 enrollment districts. Despite the Free Senior High School program being free, we still have some significant number of Ghanaian children who are unable to access this opportunity because their parents are unable to afford basic things like trunk, chopbox, pillow, buckets, those things. And then when you go to the Free Senior School Secretariat, the data shows that we have 40 districts who are suffering from this. So my unit and through the ministry is collaborating with the various MMDCs to see how we can collaborate and offer support to improve enrollment within this district. So in summary, I'm through this platform calling on us over here and also appealing to us to share with our benevolent citizens, organizations who are seeking to help, religious bodies out there who have funds to support that now. If you do not know where you channel your resource, the ministry has set up a unit or a desk that is willing and open to receiving these supports and directing them to where you want us to direct them to. Just want whatever we do to be in line with what the government is doing. For instance, I'll give you a practical example. A government may have a plan to go to His Royal Highness's town to, let's say, develop a library. And let's say Mr. Kwesen has already solicited some funds and is starting that. So before we realize we have two similar projects going there, maybe the community needs one. So when we have these funded, we sit with you, we let you know our plan for it, for the town and what we can do. If we already have, we get yours to support it, we give you the tag you want, ownership. I'll decide, I'll drive is to see to it that every Ghanaian children is offered quality education that is accessible to everyone. Thank you so much for your audience.
Thank you very much for your addition to Mr. William Dakwa's presentation. This is great. We will give ourselves a second break. We will come back to Q&A, and hopefully, my audience, please try and raise your hand so that we can call you first, and then you can go straight to your questions when we come back. I will be back with you in a second. Everybody can take it's a Friday evening, so get a glass of water, and then we'll come back in a sec.
Araba, there are some people at the door. Go and tell them I have traveled to Russia.
Yes, Daddy.
Where's your father?
My father said I should tell you he has traveled to Russia.
Your father has killed me. I sent him money from America to complete my house for me.
Are all student association contributions?
Even the money from the fundraiser for Kweku surgery.
Oh! He too? Don't be a victim. If you're contributing to a project, alumni dues, or any public campaign, Chango is your best choice. Chango keeps track of all donations and gives you the power to know exactly where the money goes. Chango is approved by Bank of Ghana. Call 0270-066-614 or visit changoapp.com for more information.
Uncle, my father is hiding under the bed.
Oh, Araba.
Chango for your groupings and crowdfunding.
Hello? Oh, my son is Canada dada. And then he left home, man. My son, this is a setup. He was Spain. Oh, yes. Spain most any secret free, huh? A Ghana. Yet we love you. It's 11 and as a man of a baby from Rono. Oh, that be my son. Would you check your phone? Why? It's very easy now to send money from anywhere in Europe to Ghana. I'm in Spain right now, and I just send money to my mom. And on Tiasia, also don't send it, don't take e-levy. No, on tap send, there's no e-levy charge. It's just free when you send. Those in the US, those in London, those in Canada, plenty places in Europe. You can send your money through tap send to Ghana, and please, it's free of charge. There's no deduction in any e-levy or any charge at all. So what are you waiting for? Send the money to those family people. Me must send it. Let's go and take a clan talk. Reggae man of a pack. It's tap send.
At Diaspora Insurance, we understand the importance of dignified send-offs within Ghanaian culture and traditions. We also understand that you want to avoid the double trauma of your family grieving and not having the financial support to cover funeral expenses when you're not around. With our Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, you can now cover yourself or your family in Ghana or abroad. With no medicals required, we'll accept you if you are under 75 years. Visit our website today or call us to complete a simple form in under 5 minutes. With Diaspora Insurance, your peace of mind is guaranteed.
Thank you and welcome back. Our audience, this evening we've gone through what it takes and what the government has done when it comes to our education, especially with the free SHS as a focus. We've also looked at things that the Department of Corporate Affairs and International Affairs has also been helping and engaging with other bodies trying to make sure that our future education remains bright and our people and our learners can now become more thinkers other than doers, just being told to read and write, chew and pour and forget. That is what some of us did. Now we are hopefully transferring that from chew and pour to practice, which I think is a new generation that will push our future much more better. We have with us here two panelists who have taken us through, Mr. Abankwah from the Ministry of Education and Mr. Dakwa, also Ministry of Education, responsible for free SHS delivery and other engagement. So these two men are here with us. They are happy to take questions. We've got the next half an hour or so. Please, as many of you that can raise your hand, the quicker we can get it so that you can go and have your evening, as we always want you to do on a Friday evening. But thank you so much for audience who have been so loyal. Mr. Nomo Abuatin, I see you all the time. And I think I need to get an award for those who are loyal to this forum, because I also believe that because we do quite a good job with good topics, it keeps you going. And we want you to invite others to listen. Okay, so first person's hand is up, but before I call that person, there is an important information on the chat room which I want to share. Somebody kindly called Victoria has shared that there's an opportunity by the UK British Council offering students 14 countries, Ghana being one of them, the opportunity to have £10,000 towards their tuition fees to study at one of the 49 universities across the UK. There are 200 scholarships available. More information can be found and the link is there. Please, these opportunities we need to share with our people back home. So you may have a nephew, a cousin, or any family member you think is bright and, can take opportunity. Why not? Let them try it. The link is there. If you need more info, I'm sure Victoria will make herself available for us to reach out. But we'll go now to the question and answer session now. Mr. Noble Amwatin, please. If you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Thank you for asking me to ask my question. First of all, I thank the presenters. They've done fantastic presentation, which is very useful. But my question goes to Mr. Dakwa and Mr. Abankwah. The first one is to do with publication. Your communication strategy of letting Ghanaians know this wonderful work that the government is doing. I'm not being political here, but what they are doing is for the benefit of Ghana in the long term. So how do you go about Ministry of Education to actually publicize the good work that the SHS or TVET is doing? This is for both of you. Now, my second question goes to Mr. Dakwa. He did, and this is a question I also asked the Minister of Education when he was on a similar forum. What you are talking about critical thinking, that Ghanaians have to be made to be critical thinkers. Now, if we look at our education, as Nana just said, we all went through two poor paths. So when you look at the type of education we have here, and in fact, I spoke to about 2-3 days ago to a Ghanaian head teacher. When you look at it, the education we are having in Ghana is about 100 years behind modern times. Because 100 years ago, the advanced country members were critical thinkers. That's why they questioned whatever was in the system. That led to inventions, that led to discoveries, that led to all the momentous advance that we have now. But Ghanaians still continue to be yes, sir. When they're in the classroom, they don't ask questions. They can't challenge the teacher. In fact, the head teacher that I spoke to 3 days ago said, you cannot even challenge a director of education. So where are we now? We are 100 years behind time. We are still thinking and doing what our colonial masters wanted us to do. They came in, and when they speak, you don't speak back. and they're introduced to the school system, through our civil service, through everywhere. So for instance, if a president is saying, a lay person cannot challenge the president, say, oh, what you are saying is wrong. You can't say it to your head teacher. So what are you doing about critical thinking? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll take one more question. Or should, as he asked 2 questions, can I let you answer it before we move to the other 2 whose hands are up, please? Mr.
Okay.
Dankwa and Mr. Bankwa, any of you can take it.
This is Mr. Dankwa. I think with respect to his first question of how are we doing this communication, there are a couple of channels that we use for our communication. The first I will mention is on a regular basis, the Honorable Minister has something called Meet the Press, which is run by the Ministry of Information. So on the, we communicate the educational transformation agenda through that channel anytime that he gets an opportunity to do that. We also have the Honorable Minister also sometimes hold in the ministry some press conferences to discuss this with the media, and also he goes to various radio stations to talk about some specific transformation events that are happening. We also have in the ministry like the spokespeople that we engage in terms of if we are doing any new thing or any transformation agenda. They also communicate through various the radio channels and TV channels and that stuff. In terms of free SHS, we do a lot of citizen sensitization as well. We are right now out in the field, out in the schools, out in the communities doing sensitization on school placement. How do we the changes that we are adopting the school placement procedures? How are we how is it impacting them? You know, so we use various channels to really communicate our transformation agenda, and a few of those is what I've mentioned to you. With respect to the critical thinking, I think that's exactly what the Honorable Minister has been talking about since he took over the transformation agenda for Nana Akufo-Addo, you know, and he's introduced so many transformation initiatives. School leadership is now a new path where we make sure that even those that are managers of our schools have special training to do it. He's introducing GATE, which is gifted and talented. He's introduced STEM. STEM is a big thing now in Ghana, where you know there's practical hands-on that the students are engaged in to be able. I think Abanko spoke a bit about you know even his engineering program that is creating that. Yes, so we are aware. I think the country is aware that we need to develop critical thinkers within our educational structure, and I think the transformation agenda has already begun. And if we give it some time, the case is, I think, that are coming out in Ghana, the new initiative that will drive our you know, the innovation attitude and everything. So, Mr. Bankwa, if you have anything to add to it, that's all I have so far in terms of these 2 questions.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Dankwa. And I'll commend Mr. Amwaten on drawing attention that there's more that needs to be done. We do admit that our communication has not been enough, despite all the avenues that and channels that Mr. Dankwa mentioned. But Honorable Minister, just as he hinted you the other time, is rolling out so many initiatives that seeks to get what we are doing out there for Ghanaians to see and appreciate what we are doing in the education sector. One of such is this forum that we have ourselves over here, sharing with our families in the diaspora what we are doing over here in Ghana. And we believe that, I mean, I will tell a friend for a friend to tell a friend. Again, we've also identified, we now realize that stakeholder engagement plays a very key role. I mean, youth modernization, we nearly skewed to only the media engagement, but realize that now we need to go back there, engage the stakeholders, explain, get them to understand and own it. So the minister, has also rolled out several programs that seeks to do that. Yeah, those are some of the few that Mr. Dakwa mentioned. The minister himself engages the press on a regular basis. A honest invitation to radio stations goes there to explain. My office organizes community forums. We go with PowerPoint presentations. We explain, show videos, what we are doing, what we are going to do, where we started, where we've gotten to. So you are right, Mr. Martin, we need to do more. But I'm happy to inform you that the minister heeded to what you, when you drew his attention that there was a dip, and we are doing so many things. I just got back into the country from Ethiopia. When we went there, we realized that a country like Ethiopia, where we have the AU sitting there, we have a lot of diplomats visiting there. Why don't we start engage the officials to see if they could offer us the opportunity to start displaying some of the things we are doing, especially in education in these airports, so that when these diplomats get there, they see and feel what Ghana is doing, the strides Ghana is doing. And when it comes to the critical thinking bit that you mentioned, I know and I believe you appreciate the fact that STEM education actually connotes the 4 C's. That's critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication. And I mean, this government has promoted STEM education, and now STEM has been accepted in Ghana. I'm happy to inform you that I have headmasters who are calling me, asking me how they can get their schools. I mean, the ministers are in their schools to support them with logistics that would help enhance their STEM education and science education in those schools. So yes, we are doing. We are not saying we are there, but we are on our way, and we hope to get there one day. Thank you for the heads up, and we'll do more.
Thank you very much. I will go to the other questions, those who answer before I come to my once I'm done with all of them. Agnes Kwenu, please. Agnes. If you can unmute yourself, please, Agnes. You need to unmute yourself. Yes, it's better. If you speak, I can hear you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Nana, God bless you for organizing something like this.
Amen.
And thank you very much for what you are doing. Please, can the Ghana government introduce something like apprenticeship that we have here for those that were not fortunate to enjoy free SHS? That don't have any certificate for employment, so that they will also benefit from the apprenticeship to get through to get a job. And back home when I was in Ghana in 1989, I lost my dad early in 2009. So I had to help my mom to bake bread. And through that, I went to manifold tutorial to do telephonist receptionist course. And we were taken to British Council, and we had effective speaking and then a program that would take you to job replacement. Through that, I was able to go to Vanguard Assurance to work there for 14 years before I came here. So if they could implement something like apprenticeship for those who were not fortunate to have this free SHS, because people may lose their mom, their dad, or a breadwinner in the family.
Yes. Thank you very much, Agnes. I think I'll add to your question and say, what analysis are you people making around those who are able to go to free SHS and areas around carpentry, masonry, those handmade craft work? Because now everybody wants to just go to SHS because it's free. But we all know also, it's not everybody who can actually go to SHS and end up in anywhere more than what they are. On the other hand, if they had transferred that time to something else, they could have benefited a lot. So is there any idea how we are looking around those areas as well? This is just at the back of what Agnes has said. Apprenticeship for those who are able to go and those who couldn't go, but also those who are just not even in school at all. What are we doing? Vocational skills. Is free SHS taking over vocational? Or I heard Mr. Dakwa saying something around vocational and things like that, but hopefully you can add the two and explain. I'll take one more question and then we can answer those two together. Araba Akwe, please. Araba. Yes.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Jason.
Good evening. Good evening.
And good evening, honorable members, and good evening, everybody on the platform. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I love education, so anytime I see an advert for education, I just try to come on here and listen to what our good men have for us from Ghana. Mr. Bankwa and the man from and the other conveyor, I didn't really catch your name because I joined a bit late, but thank you very much for the great work you've started. And I would still drum in this question. I think that Ghana, we tend to run with ideas that are not suitable geographically for Ghanaians. And this is as on the backdrop of the question you have asked, Mr. Quayson, plus what the other lady said. We are taking STEM and we're trying to teach it in Ghana, but then we haven't got the facilities, we haven't got the conveners, and most of the teachers or most of the educators, they haven't really grasped the concept. So for me, in as much as free SHS and everything is quite good, what is the expected outcome, and what are the time frames for all these to actually materialize? And the people that we're training, are we training them for the Ghanaian market, or we're trying to train them to meet some other curriculum, or just say for the international market, if that makes sense? Because there's a lot of lapses in all these curriculum and all the things that you're trying to run. We should try and then ask the questions, where are these people coming from? We look at America, we look at Canada, we look at Australia, China. They all had a plan before 2020 when it came to STEM. And I know we're now starting, but then where are we going with this? What is the outcome? How is it going to benefit the demographical people in Ghana or in Africa, as opposed to, it all doesn't sort of, I don't get the clear picture. So can the educators and the curriculum developers try to explain and then look into what they're doing so that it actually fits the Ghanaian demographics? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, panelists, you can take from the questions so far.
All right, thank
from
you so much.
Agnes and our lady that just left the microphone. Yeah.
I'll first of all take that of Ms. Agnes Quaino. Thank you very much, Madam, and good evening. Yes, apprenticeship is very key to our socio-economic development drive. And I'm happy to inform you that this government is equally making strides in this area. Recently, you heard that we launched a new baby under the Ministry of Education. That's the Ghana TVET services. I wouldn't want to talk much about that agency, but I want you to know that now with the new TVET service agency, the government of Ghana has moved all the schools or training institutes that were doing businesses of technical and vocational under the Ministry of Education and brought under the umbrella of the TVET services to streamline it. We have the National Apprenticeship Program, NAP. It's a training program initiated by the Council for Technical and Vocational Education, that's COTVET, and implemented by the district level coordinators in the GES in close partnership with craft-specific trade associations. And again, if you heard me in my presentation, I told you that we have support from CAMFED at the S1 NVTI, those who are familiar with the Kumasi terrain. There was this National Vocational Training Institute in Swami, now known as the Swami Technical Institute. With this support from CAMFED, artisans, and I mean, that area is only those in the area of mechanical engineering have the opportunity to come and upgrade and or enhance themselves in the school. So these are few of the initiatives that this government is doing. Now, while Mr. Quaison also mentioned something about carpentry and masonry, when you come to the technical vocational space, now we have strengthened the TVET schools in this country, because the TVET, the development of the TVET space is a catalyst to where we want to get to. So now, when you are in school, when you are in the junior high school, you are not boxed to only wanting to be in the secondary school. So if you heard Mr. Dakwa, now TVET is also free. So the child can choose to branch to the grammar, that's the secondary school, or branch to the TVET and offer courses in masonry, wood technology, mechanical, electrical, wiring, welding, you see. And we have the technical universities available. At first, that was a challenge. You go to the technical vocational institute, your path is limited because you do not have a university. You only go to the polytechnic and your highest is the HND. Now, these technical polytechnics have been upgraded to technical universities. So every child wanted to own a degree. So then I'll go to secondary school and enter the university where my skills will not be required over there. So now you can branch to the TVET. It's also free. And you can penetrate through the technical universities. And we have the engineer, the technical engineer who use the TVET area, who holds a degree. And we have the engineer who use the grammar, who also holds a degree. And when they come to the job markets, you know who the job market will require. So this government is really investing in TVET because that's the way to go. We know how TVET has developed Germany, and we are doing a lot. I come to what my dear sister also said. I don't know if you were on with us when the Honorable Mr. came. He said, and I quote him, in education, you have to do so many things at the same time. We do not want to miss the fourth industrial revolution. So we are doing so many things at the same time to see to the fruition of the STEM education in Ghana. a lot of investment has gone into this area. During the minister's time, he showed some videos. I can also share. You see the investment this government has made when it comes to the STEM education, the facilities we've offered, the training programs being offered to teachers. Now, currently, there's a competition going on, STEM Innovation, designed by myself and the Free Senior High School Secretariat, being managed by the Free Senior High School Secretariat under Mr. William Dakwa and his able deputy, Nana Fresca Mensah, called STEM Innovation. Maybe beyond this, I will share the link with His Royal Highness, Nana Kwesen, and he can share it with us. I'm happy to inform you that in Ghana here, we have Ghanaian children who have been able to produce a drone that can fly. We have Ghanaian children here who have been coming out with incredible things, things we thought only white children could do in Ghana. And this government is bent on developing this space so that we can have these critical minds, the critical mass to drive our socio-economic development agenda. So STEM has come to stay. Currently, the government is establishing 39 STEM centers and schools across the country. 5 of them are operational. I'm going to show the video with us, share the video with us. We see the schools. I mean, and minister will brag about it that when you see the edifice, these are nicer schools than even high schools in the US. I don't know, I think he shared it during the last time he was here, and I'll share it again. So we are making strides in the STEM education, and you were talking about the job market. Now, if you look at where the world is going, you could stay in Ghana and be working for a company in America. That's where the world is going. That's why we are training more. We want to train more people in areas of computer sciences and engineering. I mean, you do not have to, I mean, you were talking about brain drain, but I'll tell you that that is not there. We are looking at creating opportunity for Ghanaian children to be able to access the job opportunities, I mean, out there in the world market. That is where the drive is. I mean, so it has a way of solving the unemployment situation in our country and has a way of giving back to support our socio-economic development drive. So don't be in a panic. We are doing what we can do, and we are happy that, I mean, when this minister took the seat, he realized that, and that is the premise of this argument, he realized that education is non-political. So he extended an invitation to all past ministers of education to come, share with them his vision, what he seeks to do, of which STEM education takes a center stage. He gave him their advices, their support, and STEM education in Ghana is a non-political. I don't know if you've heard any, the other party speaking against it. We are all driving the nation towards that direction. So we will get there. I know we will get there. And I believe you also have that hope that we are going to get there. And we are going to see the Ghana that we are all aspiring to see one day. I hope I've answered you right.
Thank you.
So, Mr. President, please permit me to share.
I hope it's not a lengthy one so that we can put it on our platform.
Yes, it's not a lengthy. It's not supposed to be lengthy.
I'm keen to ask those whose hands are up so they can get their questions through.
Oh yeah, we can. I mean, I will try playing it whilst the dialogue goes on.
Okay, Mr. David Ajay, please. If you can unmute and ask a question, please. We'll pause that video until we are done with those 2 questions, and then obviously, hopefully, if we can share the video. Mr. J, David Ajay, if you are with us, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Right. Okay. Mr. Dakwa, we cannot unmute people. Okay.
Hello.
Please bear with us. Right. The sound is not coming. Have you got sound, Mr. Abankwa? Right.
And this
Mr. Bankwa, there's no sound to what you're showing us. So
now what I want to show is the graphics, not really the sound. It's just a sound, a music that plays.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you. I think we'll put it on our Ghanaian Community Awareness Forum. If Mr. Abanko can share with us later, we can.
Yes, I can.
You can go there and have a look as it is.
So these are the 5 STEM schools that have been operationalized in the country, and these people, this woman and the gentleman are the head teachers that have been appointed for those schools. Just for the benefit of, I want to fast track it. We have all these schools have 16 labs, fully furnished. Science lab, biology lab, chemistry lab, physics lab, computer labs, fully furnished. We have pathways over there. Some of them are doing biomedical sciences. Some are going to be doing aviation, a lot. And 5 of them have been operationalized. We have one in Pesempe in the northeast region. We have one in Awaso in the western north region. We have 2 in Ashanti region. This one, and then the blue one are in Ashanti region. This is the Bosumchi girls, the Diakon. And we have that one, the other one is also in Jachi, both in the Honorable Minister's constituency. We have another one in Abomosu in the eastern region. Very soon we are going to operationalize the girls, one in Pon Katamansu. So this government has made a lot of investment when it comes to STEM education. I personally went to produce this video. Look at the structures. These are high schools in Ghana. High schools in Ghana.
Right. I think we are fine, Mr. Let's move to the questions so that our time is running out, so that we can have others ask their questions, please.
Hello.
Thank you, sir. So, Mr. J, please unmute. Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. It's actually been an interesting conversation listening to everyone that's speaking. However, I just wanted to just of course put a question and just say certain things in regards to the whole educational sector in Ghana. Now, I do lead an organization in Ghana that's called Code 57. However, I'm based here in Ghana. And, of course, I do believe that maybe the government is trying its best to set up certain structures, facilities to help the young people over in Ghana. But I do believe that when it comes to the educational side of things, it's beyond the facilities that we see, because if we can see these things, but we're not really seeing the impact that is being felt, the process that our young people are going through the educational system, then these facilities are really pointless, sorry to say. Now, I must ask what the recruitment processes are when it comes to the teachers that are teaching our young people. And the reason why I say that is because I know that, of course, in Ghana, everyone is busy trying to earn, or shall I say, make a living. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, the educational sector itself must ensure that the teachers are not just only there for a living, but they actually have the passion for what they're doing. So, for example, with the organization that I lead, within the past 2 years, we've covered about 7 regions in Ghana. And this organization is literally led by young people. And what these young people have done is that they've devoted themselves and they've been deployed literally to every single communities that we can think about, or different regions in Ghana. And it will be so shocking, the sort of news that comes back. And these are not just things that they say, but it's actually provided with evidence of photographs, of video recordings, and other things, which shows us that, when you look at the educational sector beyond Accra itself, it's really not a conducive should I say,
okay, Mr. J, please, can you kindly round up so that we know exactly what you're trying to put across, so that other two people can have a turn, please.
That's fine. I'm just trying to get to a point, but I'm gonna get to the point anyway, so we don't waste too much time. Now, where I'm trying to get to is that I believe in order for the educational system to function properly in Ghana, are there processes, or is there a process where the educational system has to work with certain organizations in Ghana? Because there are organizations who are willing to do the work. There are organizations who are willing to be deployed to certain communities. So, for example, just last month, I had 30 students who went to a Volta region. And all of these things, of course, are self-funded by myself. Now, of course, you know, in Ghana, I don't know how things are, but if the normal young Ghanaian citizen goes to the educational headquarters or whatever to meet someone, to let them know that this is the project that we have, it's very difficult for them to get through to the authorities, to letting them know that this is the issues that we have. So
in effect, you're asking
barrier?
if there are any partnership, right? Government partnership from within the education or any other sector that you can reach. So your work you're doing across the country on voluntary, I'm not sure if it's voluntary or what's it called, paid work in that sort of way, you need to be able to reach out and partner with agencies that can promote the work you're doing along the way, as you also promote education in other areas. Is that what you're trying to put across?
I mean, just before you even take your two questions, let me just quickly kill this. So I didn't get the name, but Chief, if you followed the presentation, realize that I told you the Honorable Minister, as part of his administration, realized that there was a shortfall when it comes to this area. That is why he created a corporate affairs unit. So my office, if you are having challenge, I'm available. At least if you didn't know now, you know that in the ministry, we have an officer who is actually a personal assistant to the minister. My office is open K25. You come, I review what you are doing, and if there's the need to arrange for you to meet the Honorable Minister, I do. You meet him, you present what you are doing, and we take it from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. J. So if you can't get hold of Mr. Bankwa, please reach me. You can go to Ghanaian Community Awareness Forum on Facebook. You'll get all the information there to get hold of me. I can give you my number here, so we can direct you to Mr. Bankwa to go and see him, so that your work and partnership can also be looked into. Jimani Donko, please. Jimani.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank everyone on the platform. First of all, I'm delighted to hear and also read about what is going on in Ghana now, which is very, very impressive. The STEM stuff that's what the Germans do. So when you go to Germany, they have two kinds of university academic and the one you call University of Applied Sciences. Depending upon how you go into your school system, for example, the primary school, when you get to year 4, you'll be 9 years, you go to gymnasium, which takes you straight into the academic side. And then you come back to the other side, you have other schools, which takes you through the lesson. And I've monitored and read about what Ghana is doing now. If what I read is that from KG to SHS 3 is going to be basic school, which means from JSS, they will start with another, something like a vocational, which will take them up to SHS 2, where they are allowed to choose whether they go through the academic or this. If that is it, I think there's something we all can applaud. But what our request is that they put more information for other people to read, to understand them. What they're doing is good, but it doesn't get many places. My question is, I came in too late. I was very, very cute, but I came home too late, so I couldn't join. If he will be able to explain this basic school, which we call the first year will be B1 and that kind of stuff, does it mean that they'll go through the school until SHS 3 before they come out, or somewhere in the middle, they may have to depart. I didn't get that point well. I want to know this new system which they are going to enroll. From my understanding and what I saw is that they go through it, but there will be assessments as you go. And then at a certain point, when they get to SHS 3, it will be, you choose wherever you want to go, and then you come out with a diploma instead of this WAEC. From my understanding, they are going to cancel the West Africa Exams Council stuff, and everyone that goes through the school will come out with a diploma. So it means that even if you go through that to the theory level, you might have go through technical subject or anything that you like, as far as JSS 2. So even if to the you are taking the academic, what do you call the technical route, or the other side, you might have got some knowledge about technique. If you can explain a little bit for me to know that, is it true that this system takes you to this one without stopping?
Thank you. I think it's worth saying that there are circulations on WhatsApp, which I've seen in myself, where there's going to be a new enrollment of how you're going to categorize B1, B2, from JSS 1, JSS 2, you get a diploma. I think that's what he's referring to. I've seen the WhatsApp, but I haven't actually, because it hasn't come officially, I haven't paid much attention to it. So maybe Mr. Dakwa, who is a free SHS lead, if you have anything new development around curriculum changes that is yet to come, would you be kind to share with us while you're here, please? Mr. Bankwa's network is frozen, but if Mr. Dakwa is here.
Okay, hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I had a text from William that he needed to move, so he's with us, but then he's driving. So at this point, I'll take the phone and the place. Yes, my brother, you were right to a point, and because I'm not authority, I would not be able to speak on authority. But I'm glad that you are almost in line with what we are seeking to do. Yes, the Pre-Tertiary Education Act is being reviewed, and then it's going to look at all these bottlenecks and solve them. So yes, you are almost aligned with the new Pre-Tertiary education policy that is going to be implemented very soon. I have some materials beyond this I would share with His Royal Majesty, His Royal Highness Nana Kwesi Quayson the First, which shall be put on the forum platform for our attention and our study.
Thank you. Before I ask the last, well, I've got two hands now. Next program we have, we are seeking two channels. The first one, we want to talk about Ghana's tax environment for maximum impact in times of fiscal crisis. We will be looking at Ghana's tax environment, how our tax and revenues supporting this crisis that the country is going through. It's all right and good, all complaining and saying, but in this country and anywhere else, I'm sure most of you live in Europe, tax is what gets the job done. It's not the talk. So we will be looking at Ghana's tax environment and whether that is helping the Ghana as a country to achieve its maximum potential in times of physical crisis. So that will be 2 weeks from today. I believe it's the 18th. Information will come around. Please share with your friends and family. These are educative topics. It's good that we all get to know what is behind the scenes that we don't hear of, other than the normal noise on social media. Right, we'll go to Hawaii Smart 2020, as you don't have a name. If you have Hawaii Smart 2020, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have done that. So, hi, my name is Franklin Ajete. My name is Franklin Ajete. I'm an education consultant. I'm Ghanaian. I'm an education consultant. I was trained in the UK. I've been working for many years as a principal. I've come to work in Ghana as well. I have met Mr. Bankwa before. This is just a suggestion. When you talked about how to teach critical thinking, how to teach children to be creative and innovative is something that I have the skills, to train teachers across the country, because you see, it's very good, as they say, that they have the STEM, they have TVET and stuff like that. Very good. But the style of teaching, how children are taught in primary and secondary to critically think, is not practically a lesson that says that I'm going to teach you how to critically think, but it's actually inculcated in how we teach, our teaching and learning approach, our pedagogies, which is something that I can contribute. So I know Mr. Bankwa's office. I'll be visiting him, to talk more about this and how I can support, across the country. Thank you. So
Thank
mine
you
is
very
not a
much,
question.
sir. No, thank you for the last bit of support that you will be visiting. And Mr. Bankwa's phone line is frozen. I don't know if you can hear us because his video hasn't moved for the past couple of minutes. Mr. Bankwa, are you still with us?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Your video is looking very nice, but we can hear you. Maybe you might want to move around a bit, but yes, please. Did you hear what our brother said?
Yes, Mr. Joe, I actually have a commitment to supporting Mr. Ajite's program. He is a brother.
Right. Thank you. I've got 2 questions. We've got 6 minutes to round up. Joseph Kwanzaa, please. Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Question. Yes, Mr. Bankwa, I just would like to know, just to satisfy my curiosity. I went through the old system, so we have to pay money to go to secondary school, and now it's free. Is it enshrined in the Constitution that it's going to continue whether it is a change of government or not, or is it because of political expediency? That's my first question. The second question is, as I was listening to you, I've seen that there has been some teething problems here and there in terms of funding, especially when you go to the rural areas. My understanding among some of my friends is that there are times some parents who are willing to pay for some of the expenditure the government is making, but that option is not there. Has that been considered at all, or can that be considered?
Thank you. These are important questions. What we want to see is that if it's free, it sustains, and we are, future children 2-3 years down the line from now will no longer be denied. That will bring all the hard work to vain, I would say. Mr. Bankwa, do you have any thought on this? If you don't have answer to it, please do not be forced to, because if you feel like it will compromise any political interest, then please. But if you can share your thoughts with us, please, if you have any.
Free SHS must.
The question was, do you have it enshrined in law that come what may, this will be staying for good? Or is it just a matter of one government fronting it and then leaving the future to another one?
SHS must. It's interesting. That's what you are supposed to know. And then that's why this government stay on with that for the program, the policy stays to benefit all Ghanaians. So free SHS has come, it has come to stay that been written over here to make sure that even beyond NPP, Ghanaian children still enjoys the benefits from the free high school. So this minister must relax, connecting with his peers on the other side, how to, but what I can show you is that free SHS, and that is why people must stay to see the fruition of this program. And then the second question asked. There's no barrier. What we are actually trying to put in place is that we do not want money to be a barrier for a Ghanaian child to be able to access education. So, I mean, it is not by force. I would like to use that word. If a parent has it and wants to support the school, I haven't cited any law that restricts that parent from going to the school and donating to the school. And what this government seeks to tell us that it is not by force. The government is committed to its promise of making the free senior high school free. Of course, there may be few challenges here and there, but Mr. Dakwa, we come to work 6 a.m. He leaves office sometimes at 10. Now he's on his way trying to get home. He just left the office not too long ago, and that's what we've been hired to do over here, to solve some of these things to support Ghana. So, in conclusion, if you know of somebody who wants to support the school, I believe the doors of the head teachers are wide open to receive these assistance, but it is not mandatory. If they don't, then the parents do not take it. No head teacher has the right to sack anyone from school on that premise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Time, of course, and the situation with Mr. Abankwa's line is such that we cannot take more questions. The two whose hands are up, I've already asked a question, and I will kindly ask you that you join us another time on another educational program of this nature for another question. Mr. Abankwa, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. I know you are on your way to a long trip tonight. I wish you a very safe journey to your destination. Please extend our thanks to Mr. Dakwa as well for coming and taking us through all those important information. Tonight, we have engaged ourselves, and I thank all the audience for being with us. Like I said, 2 weeks from now, we'll be looking at Ghana's tax environment and how Ghana can utilize it to its maximum advantage. We want to thank the organizers, the Ghana Union, UK, the Ghana Nurses Association, UK, the Western Region Association of Nurses, UK. I want to thank the support of Ghana High Commission, and of course, Tap Send, Diaspora Insurance for their support, and of course, IT Consortium. What can we do without our IT team behind the scene? Linda Wayo, Linda, and Paul Akwabwa from Access Media, all your media needs and all the things that you need. If it's about organizing high-profile function from start to finish, please come to us. We will make sure it's delivered either online or face-to-face. Thank you, and have a very good weekend. Rest well, and we will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Stay safe and good night.
Hello? Oh, my son is Canada dada. And then he left go menu. My son, this is a setup that he was Spain. Oh, yes. Spain was any secret free. Ghana. Yet we love you. It's 11 and as a man of a baby family. Oh, that be my son. Would you check your phone? Why? It's very easy now to send money from anywhere in Europe to Ghana. I'm in Spain right now, and I just send money to my mom. And on Tiasia, also, don't send it, don't take e-levy. No, on Tap Send, there's no e-levy charge. It's just free when you send. Those in the US, those in London, those in Canada, plenty places in Europe. You can send your money through Tap Send to Ghana. And please, it's free of charge. There's no deduction in any e-levy or any charge at all. So what are you waiting for? Send the money to those family people. Me must send it. Let's go and take a clan talk. Reggae man for a pack. It's Tap Send.
Araba, there are some people at the door. Go and tell them I have traveled to Russia.
Yes, Daddy.
Where's your father?
My father said I should tell you he has traveled to Russia.
Your father has killed me. I sent him money from America to complete my house for me.
Are all student association contributions?
Even the money from the fundraiser for Kweku's surgery.
Oh! Too? Don't be a victim. If you're contributing to a project, alumni dues, or any public campaign, Chango is your best choice. Chango keeps track of all donations and gives you the power to know exactly where the money goes. Chango is approved by Bank of Ghana. Call 0270-066-614 or visit changoapp.com for more information.
Uncle, my father is hiding under the bed.
Oh, Araba.
Chango for your groupings and crowdfunding.
At Diaspora Insurance, we understand the importance of dignified send-offs within Ghanaian culture and traditions. We also understand that you want to avoid the double trauma of your family grieving and not having the financial support to cover funeral expenses when you're not around. With our Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, you can now cover yourself or your family in Ghana or abroad. With no medicals required, we'll accept you if you are under 75 years. Visit our website today or call us to complete a simple form in under 5 minutes. With Diaspora Insurance, your peace of mind is guaranteed.